Praise God, brothers and sisters. I'm noticing a little lag time. I'm going to shut down some of these. I'll pick up. We'll see how it works. Got a different computer, so I'm trying to use this computer at the moment until I can get my my other program up. And there we go. Hello, Brother Ronnie. Leanne, hi. Bells, God bless you, sister. Catherine D, Jennifer, Ami, howdy. And Evelyn Ross and Julie Pauly and Lynn B. God bless you. All right. Well, I got some thoughts that I thought I would bring to you. And one of these is how close we are in watching the war situation and watching and thinking about what is America doing? What are we doing poking Russia and poking China? We're poking the bear and poking the dragon. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Well, it's to bring about a war. And what makes anything make sense to you about this? Why are we poking Russia and China? Why are we causing these problems? Because everything in the main news media is saying that it was an unprovoked war, that Russia is going into Ukraine because it was unprovoked. But I'm going to tell you, it was very provoked. And if you're watching like we are, okay, we're not getting involved with politics and the different things and the nature of the media because there's propaganda on both sides. But here's the deal. This war is being brought about as a diversion. Think about it. Why would we have need to poke Russia or China when that would upset the balance of commerce and economy and all of this? Why go to war? Well, the other day, I was listening to a video on Rumble that can't be put onto YouTube because it deals with a certain okay? And you can't talk about that stuff, right? Can't talk about it on YouTube neither. But you all know what I'm talking about. And they're talking about an excess death syndrome, if you will, that's been going on for a few years now. It's been higher than any other time by the point and the account of 2.5 million. That's 5 million, 2.5 million per month. So every 30 days, there's an excess death rate of 2.5 million. That happens to be in America. All right. So whatever that's from, as I said, I can't say anything about it on this channel. Otherwise, they strike. They give you strikes. So we all know what I'm talking about. If you have a brain in your head, you know what I'm talking about. So after listening to that, and then a few minutes later, he places this thought. His particular contact has been very strong and been right many times. A solid contact has said something about a false flag. And this false flag would be done by none other than the United States, and then blame it on different countries like Russia or China or Iran or whatever, okay, whoever they decide to blame it on. And then I thought from what I heard, and I said, you know what? Why is this? Why are we doing this? Why are we provoking, right? Because it's really the United States and Britain and NATO, right? It's all connected. And I started to think, well, if they do that enough, it's gonna keep the focus on the Ukraine. It's gonna keep the focus of China joining in with Russia, and Iran is already sending weapons to Russia. And then you got China, and you got North Korea, and you got all of this is being provoked, and China's threatening to take Taiwan and all this, right? Well, they do this provoking to cause a diversion. And then while all these two areas are uh, diverted or being focused on these areas, then what happens? It would make sense that somebody would hit Iran. And you know who the somebody is. Because what was just said the other day that Sister Gigi let me know was that it's in the news too that Russia, I'm sorry, that Iran is 10 to 12 days away from breakout. In other words, from having enough fissile material to make a bomb. And we know that Netanyahu has said that he would never allow Iran to get a bomb. So even more than this, I feel like they already have some sort of a nuclear device. Okay, they maybe they have a missile with a nuclear warhead. Maybe they have some of this that's been bought from North Korea or through Russia or China or whatever. But it doesn't seem like we're waiting on them making a bomb. Okay, it seems like they would already have access in some ways to these mechanisms. But I think what we're seeing is that the timing is by what we're hearing in the main news. Okay, now it's saying that there's 10 to 12 days before they will have a bomb. Now, that together with something else. And I wrote this email this morning. I think I'll just read the email because I sent it to a bunch of my friends, a bunch of my brothers and sisters. But I only can send the emails out to, I wish I could send them out to everybody, but here's what I wrote. So something big is up. Something big is way up. Brother Ronnie and Gigi and I were talking yesterday in private chat. And the essence of which was about how the war in Ukraine and the U.S. provoking and poking and provoking the bear and now the dragon, which of course is China, is all being done to cause a diversion. So to keep them busy with that area. And of course, Turkey has its own problems with the disaster of the earthquake. So while all this is going on, keeping Russia and China focused on those areas and Ukraine and Taiwan and all those areas, and they're being watching those areas. Iran is said to have enough fissile material to make a bomb in the next 10 days, 10 to 12 days. So Brother Ronnie and I, and this was prior to Sister Gigi coming on. I'm going to share something in a moment. I'll just turn my camera on the screen. And when I saw this, because Brother Ronnie found it and sent it to me, and I looked up, and sure enough, there's an insignia. All right, there's a symbol. And so as we're on here talking, and then we found that there's an exercise, which is the one that just happened recently when Sister Lisa from Watchwoman 65 was pointing out the jets, the B-52 bombers that were heading over, and we thought maybe it was going to do something over in the Ukraine. But she had mentioned something about maybe part of it was for the exercise with Israel. It was a joint exercise with the United States and Israel called Juniper Oak. And this Juniper Oak, this is the symbol. I'll show you and see what you guys can think of this. I hope you can see this on the screen. I have no way of looking to tell if you can see this. You probably can. If you can see the insignia, it's got a tree, and that tree is growing up out of a piece of land, which could be the United States, it could be Israel. But if you look at it, it's looking like it's a joint exercise, right, but you got a tree. And this was like what Gigi had her dream of, the 21-0 America. And if you notice, there's American flag, and here's the Jewish flag, right? Jewish nation and American nation. And there it is. There's the tree, huge tree growing up into the clouds. Of course, the clouds represent the top of the tree. So I hope you could see that. I had no way of seeing if you could or not, but I hope you did. Let me see. Can anybody put in the comment that you saw it and it was fairly easy to see? Just waiting for someone to say yes, you saw it, just so I know. Yes, we saw it. Okay, good, Leanne. Thank you. All right. Amy, thank you. Yes. All right. Okay, good. So the idea is, could that have been the exercise that maybe Gigi had this dream where she was walking across this field and she looked and saw this tree going up into the heavens, into the clouds, and then she was looking up. She couldn't see the top of the tree. It was so enormous. And so that was like the same idea as that tree insignia. And she's looking up and she hears this voice, 21-0 America, 21-0 America. It's booming. And of course, because she's looking for the Lord and waiting to hear, God's voice, right? And we're all waiting to hear that voice, that shout from heaven, so that we can be raptured out of this place. I'm sick and tired of this world, brothers and sisters. And I know you all are too. And we're waiting and we're watching the news, and we're trying to understand the scriptures in light of what's going on with the news, and the news in light with what's going on with the scriptures. So we're searching. We're being good watchmen. All right. We're following along. We're trying to, understand the timing of how soon is it, Lord? Are you going to give us any timing? And sure enough, we get things like what was said this morning. All right. Now on Hal Turner, I'm going to read that in a second. On Hal Turner. So this is what Hal Turner this morning, as I go to the article this morning. So it was in a part that was for subscribers only, but it's late in the day now, so I'm just going to release this information. So basically it says, Hal writes, I finished my show about half an hour ago. This was last night, 10:37. After I uploaded the archive, shut down the feeds, I went through my email like I do every night. And there are 4 emails from different people, and these are officials from the federal government. And while they each work for different people and do very varied jobs, the essence of the message is all the same. And so I report this to you as rumor intel. So you got to remember, it's more that it's not confirmed, but yet he received these emails from these people. So he has no way really to confirm it, because it would be great if he could confirm this is absolute. And, but these people are workers in the government. All right. So this is what one worker had said. So one person has been a top aide for a career U.S. senator for over 25 years. So that right there kind of identifies someone, if they're looking for that leak, but we don't know, right? So this is why it can't be confirmed. So it's like rumor until it's confirmed, but a good chance of it being confirmed, put it that way. Listen on. So this man that she worked for told her that she needs to pack and be ready to go to the hotel. For an extended period of time. They're leaving Sunday night. Now, Sunday night is March the 5th. March the 5th is the day before the eve of Purim. Just so you know. So, now, Hal's thoughts is be on the lookout for wealthy and famous to disappear and making public appearances next week. So there's a possibility of just not seeing people for another week or two, right? Because they're disappearing off of topside and going underneath, going into their bunkers. All right. So hotel So for bigwigs to head to the hotel, this means U.S. is going to start something. So they know the date when this will occur. See that this is common sense. So they would know if they're telling people to go in now, want to make preparation to go in, then they know when something is going to occur. So if it were a foreign country going to attack, they wouldn't know the exact date. So it could be that either way, it could be that they know that something's imminent, that Russia's going to hit or whatever else. But I'm more inclined to believe there's going to be a false flag. All right. Just a thought. Now, if that's the case, how easy would it be to blame Russia because they've provoked Russia to the point of, literally saying, we'll nuke this, we'll nuke that, we'll hit Yellowstone, we'll wipe this country off the face of the map, whatever. Okay, it's all rhetoric and it's all used. And what good would it do to launch any kind of nuclear devices from a country that has basically been provoked? All right, they've been provoked. We know that. So it's just interesting this what's going on. So the government would give a few days warning, and for continuity of government before hostilities break out, and in how Turner's estimation in the next few days, which ties us right into today's Friday. So you got next few days could be the eve of Purim, all right, or the 7th. It's just a thought. I don't know. But it's interesting that what I said in the beginning of this video and of this live is that because of the provoking, you got to remember China and Russia are now tied up in a way, and they're busy with their areas over there. And then for Israel to go in and hit Iran, could that be? It's a possibility. All right. I don't know for sure. I just don't know. But we are to be watching these different things and the possibilities thereof, because it gives us a timing. All right. It gives us a timing amount. So Purim starts Monday evening at sundown. So that's the 6th. And then of course Purim is the 7th and the 8th. So it's a 3-day period. The eve of, actually 2 days. It's the eve of the 6th and the full day of this, from 6th at sundown to the 7th at sundown to the 8th at sundown. So Purim, could it be? Maybe it is. Maybe this is the time. Remember, it has everything to do with the enemies of Israel, being stopped, right? So what do you have to say, guys? Anything in the chat? Anybody got questions? I just thought I'd come on here and present my thoughts to you. Having, like I said, having computer trouble lately, and so I figured I'd have to go do a live, and might even be a little bit lagged, because I'm noticing there's a little lag time here. So I don't know. Just bear with me. I'm working on getting my computers up and running. And one is for a machine which I'm using now as a backup that needs to be dedicated to the particular machine that I have, but it hasn't worked for like 8 years. So I'm in process because of the cost and everything else. At any rate, I'm doing my best to bring you information, my thoughts, my prayers are with you. Jesus is with you. Jesus is coming for us. Don't despair, because we're out of here. All right, let's put it that way. Everyone that I've been talking to is saying it's just so hard to make videos anymore. I mean, we all are watching, but it's difficult because we're just in those last moments. We're in the time of the birth pangs. It's ebbing and flowing. There's one day there's a lot of news, and then the next day it's kind of like, even for a couple of days, and all of a sudden there's more news. All right, so it's back and forth. It's back and forth, but it's like the birth pangs. All right, so we're in that time. That's for sure. We're in the time of the birth pangs prior to the woman giving birth. All right, it fits, and we know that that Israel's not going to allow Iran to get a bomb. So if they're going to have fissile material enough to make a bomb in the next 10 to 12 days, it's in the news. You can look this up. Just type in Iran can make a bomb in 12 days or something like that, or have enough fissile material to make a bomb in 12 days, something like that in Google search, and you'll see it. Oh, and by the way, something else to share with you. If I can bring up the article, and it's in the New York Post, and it's also tying in with this information that I'm saying. U.S. doomsday planes sent along with Biden's fleet to Europe report. It says a U.S. doomsday plane that would act as an emergency command center in case of a nuclear war was flown to Europe with President Biden's fleet this week. Now this was Thursday, I guess, because today's Friday, so it was just the other day. The ultra tricked out Boeing 747 AKA Night Watch. Are we in the watch of the night, brothers and sisters? I think so. Night watch, darkness, the watching of that darkness is coming. But anyway, this Night Watch jet was spotted landing Thursday, which was yesterday, at the Royal Air Force Base in Mindenhall in Suffolk, England. The Times of London reported. Biden and an entourage of top aides flew to Brussels on Thursday to try to continue to strengthen support for opposition to Russia while mulling potential new consequences against it over its invasion of the Ukraine last month. The Doomsday Jet, one of four in the U.S.'s fleet, regularly travels with the Secretary of Defense, Secretary Lloyd Austin, and he is in Europe as part of his boss's delegation meeting with NATO and European leaders. So this was just yesterday, and so unless they flew back today, which is possible, I guess, they're still over in Europe. Perhaps they're in Europe for the weekend, which brings us to the start of the 6th, which is again going to be Purim, all right? The evening of, depends on how long they're there. But right now they're not in the country. At least that's what you would think. So the president is out of the country, I guess. Interesting. This plane is also, it's designed to be highly survivable in case of a nuclear attack. The modified planes have been called mobile pentagons. They provide control of American nuclear weapons from anywhere in the world and under most circumstances, including an aftermath of a nuclear strike. It shows pictures. I can show you the pictures. There you go. Looks like Air Force One, basically Air Force, same thing as Air Force One. If the president is on one of these planes, it is known as Air Force One. So then the article, I think I can post the article in this, in the about box under this video. So anyway, so there's 4 of these doomsday planes. Anyway, the plane is rated to withstand nuclear blast, protected against the effects of electromagnetic pulses, which result from atomic explosions as well as from thermal bombs. And it says the jet also contains the most highly advanced satellite communication systems, according to the Air Force. That's pretty much it. Last thing I'd like to bring as far as a piece of news is that the Russian Duma, which is their Congress, or gathering, their Senate meeting or whatever, it's the Duma. Members are calling for a declaration of war instead of the special operation, which is now labeled. They say that there are no red lines left regarding Ukraine, and we need to end the special operation and start a war or declare war. The question I have is, if they declare war, is that going to be to draw NATO in with Article 5, because will they have to then sign the Article 5, which draws all nations into a world war? So it's a big question, and I don't know if this is going to happen. All I can say is it's very possible to happen. And of course, what I'm talking about is the red horse riding. And, it's funny, Brother Ronnie the other day came up with the meaning of brink. The meaning of brink is border. So when you look up what a border is, it's the brink, it's the edge, it's the edge of something. So this war is being brought right to the brink and right to the edge, right to the moment. And I think we're at that moment now, but I think what's coming in the next few days, maybe a week, maybe 12 days, who knows, but very, very soon, very, very near to today, the rapture is about to happen for real. I have no doubt that we're close. I've been saying that we're close for so long that it really doesn't make any sense to say it anymore. It just goes, we know that we're close. We don't know how close, but we're seeing by what's given to us in the news that we're that close, because that everything that relates to what's going to happen, should they drop a nuke, remember what happens if they drop any kind of nuke. If it's America, it's a false flag. If Russia hits, or if China hits, or North Korea, anything happens nuclear wise, what's going to happen in the world is they're going to set lockdown, because they want to keep everybody safe. So everyone's locked down, no more flights anywhere. It's just going to be like another, a COVID kind of thing, right? Lockdown. Because they're going to set security, high security, in case of someone, with a dirty nuke, or, an agent, trying to set off another nuclear bomb. Who knows? We're talking about nuclear destruction. And so it seems like before that can happen, first the rapture has to happen, but before they bring it right, when they bring it to the brink of the red horse, remember the white horse got to ride first. So there has to be someone that stands up and makes like common sense, that stands up and says, all right, this is insane, we got to stop. And so we have a particular person who's a focal point at this point, which could be King Charles. He's a candidate, as well as maybe Macron and all the other ones that we have for a possible Messiah figure. Okay, but someone will have